I'm Melvin Watson, and this is my wife, Siobhan Watson.
And we just had more information for you. I think our last video we left off with the visas. So, and if you have any other questions that you want to ask, please like, subscribe, and ask any questions. All questions are welcome. Nothing's off topic for us.
So we finished off talking about the flights, visas, and things like that. A couple things we thought would be prudent is just talking about the plane and the comfortability and just the process of getting where you're trying to go and how you're trying to get there, what time, and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. So we booked our flights. Again, they were $1,200 in May. And as it got closer to travel, we got concerned, actually talking to some friends, just got concerned with the long flight and how comfortable it was going to be. When we travel domestically, you know, how tight the little spaces are, and kind of had some concerns about, you know, being on a plane for 10, 12 hours. So we figured we did upgrade the flight, FYI. So we,
to the comfort
level. So it cost us about $400 per person to do that. And I think I don't know if it was worth it or not. We were not uncomfortable at all. I
think the difference is maybe 4-5 inches on your feet and maybe a little width, but the recline is definitely what you're paying for. You're getting about 4 or 5 more inches in the front for. So if you're tall or bigger, which neither one of us are, then I would recommend this.
Now, the only thing I wish I had information for you guys, I meant to go back on the plane to see where we would have been sitting if we hadn't upgraded. I wish I could give you some feedback on that.
So do your research on that. Check on the differences and do better than we did.
May not have been necessary. May have been comfortable either way. So one of the things we can say, as soon as we got off the plane, it was hot on a whole nother level. It was hot.
We're from Indiana. So if you're from the Caribbean or maybe even South Florida or Texas, that's about the only way I could describe it. It's humidity, it's thickness, and it's warm.
We have gotten offered a cheaper ride, which we typically do. We are being safe, but it was per person. So they wanted like 180 per person. So he wants 100 together. So we're still safety first, though. We're making sure it is our airport personnel. So we're going to ride with them.
So transportation, one of the things we did not do when we were booking our hotels, they gave us an option to book transportation as well. And we didn't. Typically, when we go to an island or something, we just grab one of the taxis or outside of the airport. And we opted in, which was a little scary because we were so far away, but it worked out. I want to say that if we had booked it online, it may have been like, our first hotel was an hour and a half out. It was in El Cosumbo. So that trip would have been like $125 per person, something like that, which it is a good distance. But when we got there, we grabbed a taxi who took us there, and it was, I forget, maybe $60.
Maybe $60, $70.
I don't quite remember, but it was nothing like what we would have paid otherwise.
So if you're feeling brave, you can get down there. There are people there ready to take you
wherever you want to
go. You don't feel forced to have the hotel get you a ride. There are people there that can't wait to take you where you want to go.
Now, that being said, we got there at maybe 2 p.m. So if you're getting on a late flight, I don't know how available a taxi is and how far they'd be willing to go. It worked out for us. We got there in the middle of the day.
And again, that was one of my points on the first video. Just knowing what time you'll be arriving, so you'll know what type of arrangements to make. So for me, I would like to be there doing business hours. That's just me.
So again, we did a lot of, for every stage of your process, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, you can probably find some videos that will help you along. A lot of people talking about some of the same things. So we watched after booking and all that good stuff. We watched a lot of videos on where we would like to stay. Google searches, things like that. And we came across Bridgeview Resort. It was a beautiful resort. It is, again, an hour and a half from the airport. Bridgeview is Black owned. A gentleman, I believe he used to live in the States, but he went back home. He is from Ghana. But we just thought that was nice. We try to support in every way we can.
Just because they're Black owned does not mean it's not a multicultural place. There are people there from India, Great Britain, England. So there are a lot of travelers everywhere. People, yeah. But that's just what drove us there.
I think it's interesting to go to another country and just, see people who look like you, who's owned and operating a business, especially one as big as that. I think that was a great thing. So it was a small resort. I would call it almost boutique.
Boutique-ish.
It was small. If I had to,
the scenery though,
it was beautiful.
The scenery there was small, but everything was very detailed. They took care of their grounds and everything was intentional.
I remember feeling like we had a butler. We've stayed at resorts and had a butler before, and we did not have one with that package. But I felt like they were very attentive. The food was great. At every second they're asking, can they help you? What do you need? They were very accommodating. We wanted for nothing.
Almost overly. Like they were on you. Like they didn't want you to want for nothing.
Yeah.
Once they realized you were one of their cousins from the diaspora, they go out of their way to make sure you're comfortable and feeling welcome. And the food.
The food was amazing. There was nothing. Oh, the mangoes. Oh my gosh. The food was great.
Have you ever heard a fruit sing? They sing.
They sing. So the food was really good. There was nothing we didn't enjoy about it.
It was $500 US for 3 days.
For 3 days, yeah.
Again, I don't know how the change in the year affects booking. There's not 4 seasons there. There's like rainy season and there's dry season. So take that information with whatever you want to do with it. But
so we went hiking. So we took a boat ride to
Vulcan
Mountain. So we took a boat ride there. They were really nice and accommodating. We had a great time, and we hiked up a mountain. And if you didn't get the drift for the heat,
it was hot.
It was hot. I barely made it.
90 degrees to 100 every day, but it's not the heat so much as it's the humidity. It's pretty thick. It's thick. So think about what you're packing, what you're wearing. You don't need anything like this, never.
Well, and it's funny you mentioned that because we would see people walking down the street in like jogging suits. And we're like, what is going on? What are they thinking? But I think it was to protect them from the sun. Probably makes you hotter as well, but
I have no theory. It was hot.
That's my thing. It was just hot. I don't know who wants on a jogging suit in that kind of weather, but they did. We saw it. One of the other things, and we did not go into town, but when we were at Bridgeview, the views were amazing, but at night, their market comes alive. Like you can hear the music. And
so if you've been to the Caribbean, you've noticed they have side vendors on the side of the road selling things, necessities, non-necessities. They just selling everything. But in Ghana, and I've never been to any other country, it's on another level.
Yeah. You can get toothpaste just walking down the street.
You can get hubcaps.
Driving down the street. No.
They use the traditional head carrying devices. And they're selling everything. Yeah. But we say that to say their nightlife. It seems like some of the vendors leave, but then the night crew comes in and they hang out. The city does not wind down the way you would think. It just transitions. So the next one we went to is called Labadi Beach. Labadi Beach. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. And again, I hate to talk numbers, but just for our viewers or people that's wondering, it was about $1,150 for 4 nights. And again, they have places there like Airbnbs and apartments you can rent, but we were moving around. And so we didn't want to just stay in one location. And we wanted to make sure we had everything we're used to this particular travel experience.
I wanted to be a little bit experimental. Hubby wasn't going.
No.
I wanted to see how they do it in Ghana, like how they live and that kind of thing. But
and if it's anywhere like America, you do it every which way. So I wanted to make sure we were comfortable. I had my wife, and so I just wanted to make sure that we were comfortable and safe. But a few things about Labadi Beach, the Labadi Hotel, which is on the beach, is the fact that it was a beach, and we wanted to get some ocean time in. Also, it's also right in the city of Accra, which is the main hub, the main city in Ghana.
So
millions of people in Accra, millions.
We walked to the beach, and it's like there are horses, barbecuing,
four-wheelers,
like
music.
I mean, I've
what they call peace officers. We call them police or 5-0. They call them peace officers, and what they're there is just to make sure all transactions are square and that everybody is moving along. There's no, I don't really know. I didn't see any disgruntlement or anything like that.
Everybody was having a good time.
But I did see peace officers along the beach at all hours. So every time I was out there on the beach, which I was out there in the morning and the night, there were peace officers around.
So just to mention that, like here, like again, we live in Indiana, but we don't have a beach. But a lot of times where people congregate, especially young people, I think this was a mixed crowd, there's usually some trouble to follow. And to go to Ghana and not experience any of that, like never argument, never loud talking, just everybody enjoying themselves.
Just let me speak on Black Power for a minute. I've been to 5 to 10 beaches in my life, maybe more. And I've never seen a beach as lively, as vibrant, as joyful. You know how we do. When I say we, I mean, so we really know how to enjoy ourselves, and they really put on a nice time as far as just, the food, the atmosphere.
It was all about
I've never felt unsafe, and this is middle of the night. Oh, that's where we met our driver. We met Emmanuel. Hey, Emmanuel.
So we called him. We went to the slave dungeons, and I'm not sure if that was the day we met him, but anyway, when we were at Labadi, they arranged a taxi. He picked us up and took us wherever we wanted to go. So we went to a museum. We went to on the hike.
Yeah, we took a hike. Was
some trees? The bridges.
Oh, it was nice, but you're 300, 400, 500 feet up, and you're connected through a network of trees, and you're crossing bridge after bridge, connected.
It was 7 bridges,
and it was.
So that was really.
It's nice. An experience, and the view was.
And we're nature people, so that's just definitely something you're gonna enjoy.
If that's what you like.
If you like,
because it's outside and it's walking
and it's hot,
and it was heat. But there's water along the trails. They have food
a beer.
there. So
nice.
It's set for tourism vibes.
So our driver took us down there. He waited for us. He was wonderful. And he stayed with us the remainder of the trip. And we actually still keep in contact with him.
And we'll speak about that more on later videos, because he's turned into a friend, and he's a contact person, so to speak, for us in Ghana.
We also went to a market during that while staying at Labadi, where they have handmade, you name it, they got it. Whether it's paintings, bracelets, earrings, clothing, like they have it.
You can go buy fabric there, and show them a shirt that you like, and they could make it right there. It might take a day or so, but you can get bags, shirts made. Just buy the fabric, and they have old school tailors. So, that was a culture shock for me.
Mm-hmm. So our next location was Movenpick. We stayed there for 3 days, and that total was
that was the most expensive one. It was like $1,300 for 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
And it was probably the most, I don't want to say Americanized, westernized of the places we went to.
So more along what you would see here. I think if I had to compare it, I would say it was similar to a Marriott, something like that.
Their beach was nice.
Mm-hmm.
Not their beach, their
the
pool.
It was nice.
The food was a little bit more commercial, less authentic, but good.
Mm-hmm. Their buffets, I thought,
it was more buffets.
Yep, and breakfast was included.
Yeah, breakfast was always included.
Yeah.
And one thing I can say about the food in Ghana as opposed to American food fare, we don't emphasize enough vegetables and fruits, whereas that is their main source. Like, meat is the secondary, vegetables are the main dish.
I think if you order a burger and fries, you're probably gonna get some coleslaw.
Right.
Something on the side they're gonna put vegetables. So
you don't have to order the vegetables. It comes with the meal. It's
just automatic.
It's kind of like here in America, you'll order a burger and they'll automatically send you a fry. There it's the same way. If you order a piece of a chicken sandwich, it's gonna come with some carrots and cabbage or something. It's just how it is. So you're gonna get your vegetables.
We also visited 2 malls actually while we were there.
Yeah.
One in Waiji.
And if we're butchering these names,
sorry.
blame it on our heads, not our hearts.
Right. And we went to one in Accra. So they were nice, kind of what we're used to. Prices were probably a bit more expensive on certain things, but that's neither here nor there. We also went to the movies, so just to be able to enjoy.
Now, about this time, we're here about 8-9 days at this point, so we're slowly figuring out the food. What we realized and learned from us is that the street food is just as good as the restaurant food.
We would sleep. We spent a fortune on food.
I'm talking 50, 60, 70% cheaper. Just if you're feeling brave, just eat on the streets.
I don't even think it's bravery. I think because we stayed in such larger hotels that weren't really like walking distance to certain things, and had we done it that night when the first hotel when the city was coming alive, but we were kind of that steep hill, I think if we had gone down there then and tested the food, we would have kind of been more aware.
You literally can just eat daily off of street food and never spend more than $5-10 US per meal.
That's probably high.
And that's high. The exchange rate, I think right now, is maybe 11 to 1. 11, I think they're called Ghanaian cedis, and $1 is like 11 there. Now, don't let that exchange rate fool you. It is not just cheap to be there. You still have to pay. It's a little cheaper for services, but not so much for goods. And again, we're going to try to get with you guys on some more videos. We have a very interesting journey. I think you guys will appreciate it, and I hope you like the pictures and the photos that we uploaded in this video to kind of give you a visual of what it is we're talking about. So again, this is my beautiful wife Siobhan. I'm Melvin. We're the Watsons, and peace.
Peace out.